Women across Iceland have staged a 24-hour strike demanding gender equality. Now, it disrupted much of society, everything from schools to banks to public offices. Iceland is regarded as one of the world's most progressive countries in terms of gender equality. It has been the top performer on the World Economic Forum's Gender Gap Index 14 years in a row. Even the Prime Minister joined the protest today.
I intend not to work myself to show solidarity with women, because full equality has not yet been achieved in Iceland. Even though we're doing comparatively well internationally, we are still at that point in 2023 where full equality has not been achieved. We're still dealing with the gender pay gap, we're still dealing with gender-based violence, and to show solidarity with women in Iceland, I will not be working and have encouraged women and non-binary people in my ministry and in the country to do the same.
Well, tens of thousands of women joined the Prime Minister in walking off the job for a full day, with many joining large demonstrations in the capital, Reykjavik, and in other towns. The walkout was billed as the biggest since Iceland's first such event in October of 1975. That's when 90% of Icelandic women refused to work or look after their children to voice anger at gender discrimination. A year later, Iceland passed a law guaranteeing equal gender rights. Well, for more, I'm joined now from Reykjavik by Freyja Steingrimsdóttir. She's one of the organizers of the women's strike and communications director of Iceland's Public Workers Trade Union. It's good to have you with us. You call this equality. That is, with a question mark, that is the motto of today's strike. Iceland is regarded as one of the world's most progressive countries in terms of gender equality. So people from the outside are looking in and asking, why did you call this strike?
Well, the slogan kind of says it all. It's since we're topping all these global indexes, there has been this, let's say, collective feeling for the women's rights movements in Iceland that we're not supposed to ask for any more. But what we say is, if we're going to be the global leaders in gender equality, then we should actually achieve it, because it is possible. So we use this slogan to spotlight the gender disparities that still exist in Iceland, because what the world is not striving for is that there is still a wage gap here in Iceland of 21% between men and women. Women are still doing much more of the housework and childcare, which is of course unpaid. And the gender-based violence and sexual violence in Iceland is no less here than in countries around us. So we thought that we needed to make a statement, because if we're standing still, there's a possibility of a backlash. And
from whom?
We want to be moving forward and not backwards.
Who would the backlash come from? I mean, what groups are you concerned about maybe not liking what you have to say today?
I think actually it was surprising how much support we received today. It was from the government, from the parliament, from most of the major businesses and companies here in Iceland, and also just general cultural support. I think even if we didn't have the huge demonstration that we did today, I think the weeks leading up to the strike actually moved us in the right direction, because we have been discussing the mental load at home and in the workplaces and so on.
Yeah.
So a lot has happened in the last weeks that will really propel us forward.
When the world looks at Iceland, I mean, you have a lot, to be proud of. In 1975, your lawmakers passed a law guaranteeing equal gender rights. Your prime minister is a woman. I mean, on paper, you look like you've got your act together. And yet you're telling me that what we see on paper is not what happens every day in the kitchens and bedrooms in Iceland. How is that possible?
I mean, even if we're the best in the world, no one is saying that there's full equality. The indexes don't say that. The indexes that we're topping don't, for example, include stats on sexual and gender-based violence. So, I mean, when there's still a ways to go, we will fight for it. And I think the 1975 strike really made a difference, and that's probably the pivotal moment that made us, go where we are today.
Okay.
But if we're going to really reach it, be the first country in the world to reach full gender equality, then we actually need to take active steps towards it.
Okay, Ms. Steingrimsdottir, thank you.
Thank you.